Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing the ranking my entire foundation collection. I believe this ranking style video was started by Kelsey Brianna J, so I'll have her channel linked down below. And recently I've seen Kelly Gooch do a bunch of ranking her like separate categories from her makeup collection. So I'm going to be ranking all of my foundations for you guys today from least favorite to most favorite. So stay tuned for that. But first, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so before you go. I post videos every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And without further ado, let's get into my foundation collection. Right guys, I just filmed a video before this and I said the same thing in that video. I am currently self-tanning, so my color guard is on and everything. So I'm probably looking like a few different colors right now, so I apologize for that. And then also I played around with the Subculture palette this morning, which is always a risk, and I'm not sure, I already know my execution on the eye look wasn't like top notch, but sometimes it ends up looking even worse when I go to edit. So if I'm looking like hella crazy, I apologize, but I'm too lazy to like refilm a video, get ready and refilm, so I won't be doing that. I'll just be posting this as is. So I hope it doesn't bother you too much, and if it does, then like just come back for a different video someday when we're looking a little bit more put together. But like I said, you guys, I'm gonna be ranking my entire foundation collection. I don't know what happened, but I have 31 foundations currently in my collection. Definitely there's some in here that I have decided to declutter, but I just haven't like actually decluttered yet, so I decided to include them in this video so I can just give you some thoughts on them in case you have been thinking of picking up these foundations. So starting with my very least favorite foundation, it is the Dr. Jart BB Beauty Balm. I was so excited to pick this up. I'm hoping I can make this work for me this summer to make it worth it, because I didn't return it, but this looks so greasy on me, which is such a bummer. And I have drier skin, so I can't imagine what it would look like if you had oily skin. This is SPF 45, so that's the only reason I've decided to kind of keep this around, to see if I can get the SPF or to use it like for the SPF. But it just looks like a greasy mess on me. The shade match is horrible. I believe this only comes in 2 shades, and the shade is like super cool toned and like grayish, so I just really don't enjoy this at all. Okay, second from the bottom, coming in at number 29, I have the Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo, and this personally for me is just too full coverage and feels too heavy on the skin. I typically tend to like a more medium, natural to dewy, luminous sort of finish. And this one just feels so heavy and cakey on the skin that I don't enjoy this. I do kind of want to keep this around just as a mixer if I'm looking for something that's a little bit more high coverage, or if I'm having like a horrible skin day and want a super full coverage foundation. But other than that, this does not get a lot of use for me in my collection, and I just do not care for this one. Next is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in the shade Rose Ivory, and I am going to be getting rid of this. I decided during a chopping block. I just haven't actually parted with it yet. This, like everyone else says, for me, biggest thing is the paint smell, but then it's just also not my favorite. I feel like the longevity of wear out that I get out of this just isn't enough to make it worth it. And I know it is a more affordable foundation, but I have so many other drugstore foundations that I love, and this just does not do it for me. So this one is coming in at number 28. Number 27 I cannot find, but it is my Hourglass Stick Foundation. If you guys follow my channel at all, you know I don't care for this foundation, but for some reason I can't get myself to declutter it because I spent so much money on it. I've really wanted to try the liquid Hourglass, but I swatched it in store and holy crap, that thing looks so full coverage that I just don't think I'd like it. And that's part of the reason why I don't feel like I like the stick version. One, I think my shade is just a hair too light for me, so I always end up just looking so ghostly when I wear it. And it's also a super full coverage foundation, which again just is not a preference of mine. So for that reason, number 27 for the Hourglass Stick Foundation. All right, guys, and next up, this is an unpopular opinion, and this was a bummer and a huge letdown to me. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. I just don't like the way that this looks on my skin. But what's funny is every time I've worn this to work, everyone's complimented me on my makeup. So I don't know if it's just a problem with me. but it looks a little bit greasy on the skin. I feel like I have to set this one. I feel like it doesn't last as long as I want it to, and I just prefer so many other foundations in my collection to this. But I probably will hang on to this just because apparently everyone else likes it on me except for me. Number 25, I was also super let down by this because I felt like I was gonna love this, and I definitely don't love this, especially on its own. And a part of me should have known better, but it's the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. Oh my gosh, this is a super matte foundation, and I can't remember who I heard talking about this, but they had like drier skin like me, and they were like, yeah, I love it. I even think Steph Nicole had said she likes this, but like this dries down so quickly that like I have to work in like sections of my face. I can't just like plop this on my face and then grab my brush or my beauty sponge. I have to work in sections of my face. Now, I have found a way that I do really, really like this, and that's mixing it with my MAC strobe cream, so it gives me more of a luminosity and it doesn't make me look so flat, and it also like mixes in with that more moisturizing cream so it doesn't dry down as quickly. But on its own, this is definitely not a favorite, not a recommendation by me. For anyone with dry skin, it's definitely a pass. Next up, I have the Maybelline BB Fresh Beauty Balm, and I felt like this was going to be like my go-to work foundation. I thought it was going to be like lighter coverage. Well, it is lighter coverage. It's just so light coverage that it doesn't have much wear time at all for me. I feel like I get maybe 3 to 4 good hours out of this, and then it's like really starts to wear away. So for me, it's just kind of not worth it. Now, if I don't have makeup on and I'm going to the gym, I'll toss this on. Just as like a lighter coverage foundation to wear at the gym. I'm one of those gals that just like feels a little bit more confident at the gym if I do have a little bit of makeup on, so usually I'll put this on and then pop on my Milk Makeup lipstick to give me that like already sweaty appearance. But for me, I definitely will not repurchase this once I finish this. Okay, so I have 2 of these. So this is actually coming in at number like 23. I'm actually, shoot. Some of these are repeats, you guys, so I don't have 31 separate foundation formulas because there's definitely some repeats in here. But anyway, next up, I have my Stila Sheer Color Tinted Moisturizer, and I don't even think they sell this anymore. I actually have this in 2 colors because I used to like this so much. Definitely not a favorite of mine anymore, and I'm still on the hunt for my perfect like tinted moisturizer or beauty balm. This one I have in the shade Light, which is a better match for me, and then also Tone, which is a little bit darker. I still don't want to like declutter these because I like them enough to try and use them. Maybe I need to toss these into like some sort of rolling project pan, not like a year-long project pan, but something to get both of these used up. I probably have in this one I probably have about 3/4, and then in this one I probably have about half, so it's still quite a bit of product when I repurchase these. Even if I could, when I finish these, even if these were available to repurchase, I wouldn't, but I don't have to worry about that because I think these have been discontinued. Next up, I have my Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse Foundation, and for me, I like the coverage and the finish that this gives, but it's just such a unique formula to work with. A little bit more difficult. You kind of have to warm this one up first and then go on with it, and then I feel like I've used this like 4 or 5 times, and I've already used like 1/4 to 1/2 of the product, so I feel like you're not getting a good value for this one. Now, I do like the finish that this gives to the skin. I think it is beautiful, but for me it's just like the difficulty of use that is holding this one back from like ranking higher. Next, I have the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the dewy and smooth version. This is just a little bit too dewy for me. That's why it's ranking so low. I definitely have like my L'Oreal Pro Glow that I prefer to this, so once I finish this up, I wouldn't repurchase, but it's not a horrible foundation. For me personally, if I'm going with a drugstore dewy foundation, I'm going with the Pro Glow. I'm not going in with this one. Next up, this one was also a huge letdown to me because I saw someone raving about it and I thought it was going to be perfect for me, but it's the Laura Geller Filter First foundation, and for me the thing that I don't like about this is just the longevity of wear. I have been wearing this to work the last couple weeks because I am about halfway done with this and I'm trying to just finish this off. This year I'd like to get through quite a few foundations because I'm trying to like lower my makeup inventory number, but foundations are like a weakness of mine and I do love to test out new foundations. So I'm trying to get through some before I buy more. but I've worn this the last like 2 to 3 weeks to work, and I just feel like after like 4 or 5 hours of wear, it's already worn away completely on my chin, and it's just starting to wear away. Now, what I will say is this does wear away in a nice way where it's not so blatantly obvious that like your makeup's wearing off, but if you need this to last you, if you're looking for a foundation that's going to last you a full 8 to 10 hours, you're not going to be getting it from this one. Okay, I just counted. We're at about 17, or we're at 17. This is going to be another unpopular opinion. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I was expecting more from this. So many people rave about this as being one of their favorites. Now maybe if I consistently use this for a week to 2 weeks, which I'm going to try and do at some point this year, maybe I'll learn to love it. But as of right now, I feel like it looks like you're wearing foundation when you have this on. And it definitely leans more natural for me than it does radiant. Now I definitely could mix this again with like a MAC strobe cream to give this more of a radiant appearance. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but for me, this just is not one of my favorite foundations. And I thought when I purchased this, it was going to turn into a new fave, but it didn't. Next up is a foundation that I considered decluttering, and I'm really glad that I decided to keep this. The first few times I used this, I definitely did not like it, but now I have learned to really enjoy this one. This is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. This does have SPF 20 in this. This is another one that's not going to last you all day. If you need a foundation that's going to last you 8 to 10 hours, you are not going to find that in this foundation. But if you want a solid like 4 to 5 hours, you are going to find it with this. It's going to be a beautiful natural looking finish, or it's going to give you a natural looking finish to the skin. This is definitely one that I'm going to be pulling out in the summertime because it is more lightweight. I do also wear this one to work. This one wears away in a way that isn't, again, obvious that you're wearing foundation, and I can get away with it. So really happy I decided not to declutter this. This probably isn't one I would repurchase after I finish it, but I have found a way that I do like this to make it work so I can get good use out of it. All right, we're on to number 15. This used to be a favorite of mine. This is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate. I feel like as I've tested more and more foundations, this just like slowly became less and less of a favorite. Definitely not one I would repurchase after I finish it. I feel like part of this could be the shade for me. I have mine in Cool Vanilla, and I feel like it's just too cool toned for me, but I also feel like it's just a little bit heavier on the skin. It does give a more natural finish, natural like a hair radiant, so it definitely gives a finish that I enjoy, but I just feel like it's a little bit heavy on the skin. It only lasts probably 6 to 7 hours, and it just is no longer a favorite, so that is coming in at number 15. This is a newer one to my collection, but right now it's ranking at number 14, kind of right in the middle. This is the Clinique Even Better Foundation with SPF 15. I feel like, again, this one just like wears away after like 6 to 7 hours, which is unfortunate. Now this is supposed to be one that's like good for your skin, kind of like skincare, like foundation, skincare and foundation. So I do want to like consistently use this for a good like 2 to 3 weeks and see if I notice like differences or changes in my skin. I have not done that right now. I've just worn this a few times to film, but I just feel like it gives like a nice natural look to the skin, but not my favorite finish I've ever found from a foundation. And again, it just doesn't have the longevity of wear that I typically am looking for from a foundation. So for that reason, this one is ranking kind of right in the middle. Then I have the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation. Now I really do enjoy this foundation. I think it's a really great option from the drugstore. It gives a nice matte finish to the skin, but it's almost like a natural matte finish or like a satin matte finish. I feel like it doesn't leave my skin looking super flat, which is very important to me. I do not like flat looking skin. I always like to have some more mattifying options, and what better like option than from the drugstore at like, I think these are like $6.99. So this is one that I didn't think I was going to repurchase, and then I finished mine off and was missing it, so I did repurchase. And as of right now, this is another one that I definitely would repurchase once I finish it. All right, ranking at number 12 and 13. 13, we have the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is the original. And then at number 12, I have the illuminating version. I definitely prefer the illuminating version because I feel like this one is just a little bit more matte, makes me look super flat, which I don't love. And this one obviously gives me more of a glow. Now, this is definitely not my favorite formula ever, but you guys, in the summertime, This has SPF 50 and I'm not kidding. I've gone in with this so many times in Vegas, on vacation, in the summertime when like it's like 80 or 9 and the sun is beaming on me, and I have not gotten burned when I'm solely wearing this and not wearing like an SPF or a sunblock on my face. Now I'm not recommending that you necessarily do that, but if you're looking for a foundation that is going to protect you from the sun, this is great. When I finish these, I would not repurchase this one, but I would repurchase this one, and I will forever repurchase this one as my like go-to summertime foundation for when I'm out in the sun. Next up, I have the Dior Backstage foundation, and I do like this. The reason I like this one is because it is definitely more lightweight. It's not heavy on your skin at all. It gives a beautiful natural finish to the skin. The only thing I have against this one, again, is the longevity of where I feel like this isn't gonna last you all day long, but this is another one I'm excited to have for the summertime because, again, it is so lightweight on the skin, and it's one that I can definitely wear if I'm just going to run errands or I don't need it to last me a full work day. So for that reason, this is number 11, and now we are getting in to the top 10. Coming in at number 10, this is the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup with Healthy Glow. I really like this foundation, you guys, and actually quite a few of my top 10s are drugstore. And this I think I purchased for like $5.99. Now I don't know if you can find this on the Ulta website anymore. I think I bought mine in store at Ulta, but I've only seen it now on the Essence website, which is like annoying because I just prefer to purchase from Ulta. But when I finish this, I'm about halfway gone right now. I definitely will repurchase because I love the finish that this gives to the skin. It definitely lasts me a good 7 to 8 hours, not like a 10 to 12. But it also wears away super, super nice, and I just love the finish that it gives. It kind of is like that perfect spot between like radiant and natural. Like it meets somewhere in the middle, and I just absolutely love the finish this gives to the skin. Would definitely recommend. The only thing I have against this one is I believe it only comes in like 6 shades, so the shade range is atrocious, but if you can find a shade that works for you, it's a really, really nice foundation. All right, you guys, coming in at number 9, I have the number 7 Stay Perfect foundation. I really have learned to love this foundation. I feel like this one is kind of like the in-between, like a matte, like a soft matte and a natural finish. Kind of meets like on that end of the spectrum, like right in the middle where I love it. And it's just a beautiful foundation. I have mine in the shade Cool Vanilla in this one, and I don't feel like it gives me as much of like a grayish undertone as I get from the Lift and Illuminate. Sometimes I mix these two together and I really like that, but if I had to choose one foundation from number 7 to purchase, it would definitely be the Stay Perfect foundation. I don't know if this is still available. I know number 7 has like, some of their products have been discontinued and then some haven't, but if I can purchase this again when I finish it, I definitely would. It wouldn't be one that I would have to like run out right away and go get, but it would definitely be one on my list of foundations to repurchase in the future, if that makes sense. All right, you guys, coming in at number 8, this one surprised me. I purchased this on a whim, but I have been loving this. This is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation. Longwear foundation. I have mine in the shade Fair Ivory, which is just a hair too light for me at when I'm not like self-tanned. Now it's like way too light. I definitely have to mix this. This is such a beautiful light to medium coverage foundation. I have been wearing this to work the last couple of days and absolutely living for it. It's one that doesn't, like, I can get a full day of wear out of this. I do enjoy mixing this with another foundation that I'm going to mention here in a little bit, and I just love the finish that it gives to the skin. You cannot go wrong with this. I believe this retails for $6.99, and if I can't find like a beauty balm that I like, this is like the next best thing because it's so lightweight. It does not feel like you're wearing foundation. It gives you just like a beautiful, beautiful light to medium coverage, and I am really obsessed with this. I definitely will repurchase this when I finish this, and I would even consider purchasing this in like my shade, especially for like the summertime, because I do feel like I'm going to be wearing this one a ton in the summer. Number 7 is my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I love this foundation. I've gone through multiple bottles of this. I think it is beautiful. It's like some people say this is glowy. I feel like it's not natural, and some days I feel like it can look glowy on me, but at the same time I feel like it has like this soft matte finish to it. So the finish is super hard to describe, but it is just, it's unlike any other foundation that I have in my collection as far as finish is concerned, and I love this. This is one that will forever be in my collection. It's a formula that I've loved for years. This one's currently going in my 19 in 2019. This is in the shade Nude, which is way too dark for me. I don't know why I purchased this shade. This might actually match me now that I am self-tanned, but this foundation formula you literally cannot go wrong with. Coming in at number 7, this foundation also surprised me. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I'm obsessed with the Pro Glow foundation, you guys. I have gone through probably 6 to 7 tubes of that, and I did not think I was going to like the Pro Matte foundation, but I love this. I wear the Pro Matte more in the winter time and then the Pro Glow more in the summertime, just the way I roll. But this is more of like a semi-matte finish rather than like a full flat matte finish, and I can get away with this without mixing. When I first started to use this, I mixed this with my Pro Glow and I loved it that way, but I really do love this on its own as well. On days that I'm looking for more of like a full coverage natural finish, this is what I go with because it is more of a soft matte. Like I said, it's just, it's so beautiful. And again, this one is drugstore, so got to love that. Coming in at number 4, right ahead of that, is my L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation. As you can tell, I have 2 different shades in this. Sometimes I have 3 different bottles of this in my collection at a time. I always have a backup of this, even though I don't have a backup right now. I just have the 2 different shades. I love this foundation. It gives such a beautiful, glowy, yet natural, but like leaning more glowy finish. So if you don't like a glowy finish, you are not going to like this. You should definitely skip it. If you are oily skinned, I probably would recommend the matte over this, even if you like a dewier finish, because I feel like with the soft matte it's just going to work better for you. But I love this. This is my go-to foundation in the summer. Sometimes I'll mix this with the It Cosmetics CC cream to give me like that SPF. This also has SPF 15, but to give me that extra SPF, but also the glow that I'm looking for. I just love this foundation. You can't beat the price. Well, the price is like $12.99, but I think it's well worth every single penny of that. This has been one of my staple like go-to foundations for the last 3 or 4 years, and I just love this. Okay, so this one was like kind of tied with the Pro Glow, but I always use this if I ever have a foundation that I just can't get to work for me. When I mix it with this foundation, it's always great. So that is why this one is ranking where it is. At number 3, I have the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. I have gone through 4 or 5 bottles of this as well, you guys. I have 2 shades. I love this foundation too. Again, this gives more of like a natural finish, leaning a little bit radiant but more natural, and I love the finish it gives to the skin. If I ever again need to mix, I always reach for my Healthy Elixir. For some reason I just think this is like the perfect mixing foundation. It always makes any foundation I mix this with look beautiful, and I don't even know what else I can say about this other than I absolutely love it. Again, it's like $11 or $12.99, so another drugstore foundation, and just, oh, it's so good. Alright guys, my number 1 and number 2. It was super hard to decide who was going to be number 1 and who's going to be number 2. Number 2 was number 1 for a really long time in my foundation collection, and the reason it's ranking number 2 is because I don't know if you can still get this exact formula. It's the Dior Forever. Now I know now they have a matte version and a luminous version, and I really want to try the luminous version. This one kind of gave like a soft satin matte finish, in my opinion at least, kind of natural but leaning more towards the matte side, and I loved this foundation. It was like more medium to full coverage. This is going in my 19 and 2019 project pan, and I will have this completed soon, and I'm going to be heartbroken and devastated if you can't purchase this anymore. Now this is a very expensive foundation. I think it's like $54, $56, somewhere in the 50s, so very expensive, but I think it's well worth every single penny. I love to use this on any occasion, truly. Like this is the one I always reach for when I'm doing something special, but it's such a beautiful foundation. It's super long lasting too. This one will last me all day, and it just looks so beautiful on my skin at any time. So absolutely love this. but it fell number 2 to the YSL Touche Eclat Radiance Awakening Foundation. And the reason I love this foundation so much, it is the perfect amount of glow for me. I was gonna say while leaning still natural, but this definitely does have a glow. But it's not so glowy that you like have to set it. It's not so glowy that it makes your pores look like they are 10 times bigger than they are. It's just such a beautiful foundation. I ended up buying this on a whim, but I am so glad I did. This is definitely one that I will continue to repurchase after I finish it. I wear this to work. It lasts me all day. I am so excited to wear this in the summertime. I didn't have this one last summer, so I think it's gonna be such a beautiful, beautiful foundation to wear in the summertime, and I couldn't be happier with this. But after that, you guys, that is going to conclude all of the foundations ranked in my collection. You guys will definitely have to let me know your top like 3 and bottom 3 foundations in your collection, or even like your top foundation and the least favorite foundation you've ever tried. Leave me a comment letting me know. I love hearing from you guys and having conversations with you guys in the comments down below. Other than that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.